Welcome to Cloud Chat with Stefan and Matt. I'm one of your hosts, Stefan Stelter.
And I'm Matt Brown. How are you all doing today? And we have a guest.
Guests are amazing. Why don't you introduce yourself, guest? Come out from behind the curtain.
Producer, director,
Yes,
guest.
that's me. Hi, everyone. I'm Darcy Pittman. I'm the director and editor of the Cloud Chat podcast and the video lead for NetApp on NetApp. So happy to be here again.
Excellent, excellent. So the last conversation was quite intriguing for me. I don't know about you, Stefan, but the whole social media thing, I'm still getting to learn it, right?
Indeed.
In fact, I kind of feel like the second I get to learn it, I'm like one or two steps behind everybody.
A new app comes out. Everybody's
Always
doing something
changing.
else. Yes,
Only
I
thing
just got my
constantly
MySpace page perfect, and now we're on.
And you know, so one of the things I'd like to talk about today. So you know, Darcy, we put a lot of effort and we go and publish something, and then you get really proud about publishing something, and then nobody says anything. How important is it to, and maybe it's different in different platforms, and maybe you can share your perception about what we should expect in the different types of platforms, and maybe how hard we have to work to actually get that interaction. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's hard work, especially because there's so much content out there.
Well, let's talk about the situation. I think it would be great for our listeners to kind of get a feel for what is this, what's the challenges out there, and then look to your advice to, how we have to work to get that feedback.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the challenges that I've seen for our content and also my own content is consistency in performance. You have to be kind of one of the big influencers to always get 1 million views. Most people, 99% of people are not going to get that. And so I think it's even just consistency of views for your own unique channel. And
I was going to say, Darcy, only 1 million. What are we up to for ours? 2
Yeah, I mean,
we're totally there.
You're getting those Hollywood contracts, right? You're getting all those relatives.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I'm not sharing that with you.
Sorry, I'm getting a call. I'm getting another call again from another.
Yeah, it's just not realistic for most people. So I think it's all relative to a certain extent of kind of what your audience size looks like and, how big of your following you have. So
I heard somewhere that, go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, is there a different expectation on the platforms? I mean, not that I have done a TikTok video, but I would imagine maybe TikTok is because it's, is it more engaging?
It's different. Because TikTok is showing your videos based on the For You page, I find that it's actually way easier to get TikTok views.
Okay.
Like I would say 1 view on TikTok is worth so much less than 1 view on YouTube, which is just my biased YouTuber opinion. But I think it's true because I can spend 30 seconds on making a TikTok video, publish it, and it could get 200 views, and that was all the work I did, versus a YouTube video takes hours and hours of editing, and you could get only 200 views, but you spent hours on that, and someone had to actively choose to click on it. So to me, that view is worth more than someone just getting fed it on the algorithm and then swiping.
You also shared that there's an engagement component to that too, how long they engage with the content.
Yeah,
the
how long they engage
video
with it,
versus a 20-minute video.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not getting people watching for 5 minutes on TikTok. That's just not the platform. The way the platform is versus YouTube, you do. So I think you get kind of that stronger relationship potentially between the viewer and the influencer. But also you can get that on TikTok. It's just a very different style of it being so short form.
What's interesting too, because I see, and I know what we do, is we can advertise something on Twitter, advertise something on LinkedIn that actually may eventually go to YouTube, but things seem to get somehow lost in translation too. So for example, we'll do a piece and I have over 6,000 LinkedIn subscribers. I'll get a subset. More often than we hit about half of our subscriber base in terms of LinkedIn views, but that doesn't necessarily translate to a YouTube view because I'm sending users that way. Is that a common phenomenon as well?
Yeah, absolutely. What that is the click-through rate. CTR is kind of a measurement of how many people see the post and then actually click on it. Is a very low percentage because it's taking an additional action. So every time you add an additional action, that's another barrier to people, doing the action that you want them to, versus like being on the platform the click-through rate is also measured, but that's clicking on the thumbnail of a video on YouTube, I would say. So
we all want it now.
yeah, well, and we, as the people making the
now.
content, we want a high click-through rate because that shows people are interested, they're seeing this content and they're interested in the topic, just as a baseline, like, oh, I want to click on this and learn more, versus this content doesn't interest me and they go about the next post or the next email.
Have you found yourself as a user of TikTok? I feel like I'm interviewing someone who knows TikTok far better than I do. Have you ever used the TikTok short as a gateway to long form content?
Interesting.
I've seen
I hope
people,
I asked that right. I feel like
I mean, that's a good question, because you see people who have been on YouTube for years trying to make it on TikTok now, and vice versa. But I would say it's hard because you are, again, are asking someone to leave that platform, and it feels like less organic to be like, oh, go watch my YouTube video when you're on TikTok. It's like, well, you're on TikTok for short form video. So I don't know. I haven't seen
your brain is in a different place. It's like you're going out for fast food and suddenly they're like, but you could go over here and have a 7-course meal. I don't have time for that. That's why I'm in line for the drive-through to
at McDonald's. I want my McDonald's hamburger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nuggets.
So I do see that usually people don't have the same level of following across platforms. It'll be one a TikToker that they found their following there. They'll make a YouTube channel and they'll still get a good amount of following on there, but it's usually the people who are really dedicated to that person. And then the same goes for people who started on YouTube. Oh, like, let me get on TikTok, and they have a following, but it's not to the same extent because that's not what they're known for. And it is hard to get people from one platform to another. Now, it's not impossible, because if someone does really like following that person, then they will. But it's definitely sometimes hard to switch between those like long versus short form. And just, I think the platforms don't want you to leave the platform. They don't make it that easy. So, you see like on Instagram and TikTok, you can't really put links very easily. You have to go to the person's profile and click on the link from there. So again, going back to those whole actions, it's not one click, it's multiple clicks to get to the next, that action of seeing that other profile.
Interesting.
So a platform we haven't talked about. Oh, Matt, I want
her to finish one thought of me, and then we can talk about a different platform in a second.
Yeah.
So Darcy, Clickbait, how tempted are you to leverage that deceitful little thing that it is?
Oh man. Well, I feel like I'm in the middle on the Clickbait argument.
That's what I want to hear, right?
Yeah.
It'd be so tempting to like word one of our things.
Here, this is the one where Stefan and Matt get into a huge throwdown fight. They're like fisticuffs into the microphone.
Yeah.
It's dramatic.
You give away $1 million in Bitcoin.
Oh, right, even better. Why do I go right to combative things? You go to the reward. I go right to I'm the stick, you're the carrot. Like, what is happening here? I see how it is. I got it.
So Darcy, where do you weigh in on this Clickbait thingy?
And my definition of clickbait is when you're putting something in the title that isn't accurate to get people to click on something. That is wrong.
Deceit.
Right? That's deceit. Now, there's a difference between clickbait and looking to have SEO optimized titles. I think that's important nowadays because of what I was saying, I think, in the last pod about the importance of optimizing for search engines. So there's a difference between the two. And I think you want to do the SEO optimization so people can find your content, but you don't want to be deceitful about what's in that content.
Maybe we do. No, just kidding.
I don't think we do, because then you don't build a following. You get those clicks for the clickbait and no one stays, versus if you have that good organic content, hopefully they'll stick around, or at least some of them will.
That's a great answer. So sorry, Stefan, I interrupted you.
No, this is
going in a platform direction.
Yeah, this is maybe a little far field, but that's how we roll on these podcasts. So as I think about Twitch, I was thinking about my kids
Twitch
being more engaged with social media in general, and what I observe them consuming as far as media goes in general. And there's a fair amount of content that my kids will watch about other people playing video games, for example, right? So there'll be a YouTube influencer who's playing a video game, and my children have that video game, but rather than playing the video game, they will observe someone else playing the video game. And my two children are dramatically different. One uses the videos to improve his play, and the other just enjoys the social element and the commentary that's provided. And it also maybe isolates a little bit from the intensity of the gameplay experience by being able to watch somebody else go through it. So I was curious of, Darcy, your thoughts on Twitch as a platform for anything related to IT. And then I have a very specific question for Matt about Twitch, if I remember it by the time you bamboozle my
I don't
brain.
know that I'm qualified to talk about it because I don't use Twitch. And I think that goes into the differences in platforms. I'm not like a gamer. I don't really watch people stream gaming. I don't really have a use for Twitch, so I've not really spent that much time on it. But I certainly know some folks, enjoy it a lot. So I
Do you
think
see gaming clips showing up anywhere else? I mean, certainly there's a lot of YouTube content.
Yeah, a lot of YouTube, definitely.
Are we seeing any short form?
I'm like, it's like watching a movie, watching somebody watching the movie.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it is kind of weird. I think so.
Watch me drive.
I
don't understand it.
Yeah.
I saw somebody's YouTube short on watching traffic. The car's just parked and the camera's just out the windshield, and it's just cross traffic in the horrors of like the vertical arrangement. So you're not even seeing like, oh, look at that semi, here it comes, and now it's going. No, it's just like, but through this much of a lens, right? So anyway.
Yeah, well, my other thought is that it kind of gets to the parasocial relationship of social media between the user and the creator that I think is so powerful. And I think it'll be interesting to see. I hope psychologists start studying this because it's such a new and interesting phenomenon where you feel connected and engaged with these people online that you don't know in person, and you feel like you have a bond to them. So I think it's almost like hanging out with a friend of, oh, let me I think about when I was growing up, kids would play video games together. You're playing it, but with someone online almost. And so, that parasocial relationship gets very powerful, whatever that looks like, whether that's on Twitch, whether that's on YouTube, because there's people on YouTube who I've followed for years and years. And so you feel like connected to that person, and I'll watch them do random stuff because
I think parasocial has to be in the title for this one. We'll reach that whole different strata of
paranormal of parasocial,
of our educational elite here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my follow-up question for you, Matt. Do you think that there's an audience on Twitch for IT practitioners doing IT work for other IT people to watch them do their jobs? Like, oh wow, watch his array go down. Oh wow, watch him get infected by ransomware. He's gonna do the undoing of the ransomware while it's happening. Like he's live streaming an event that's occurring within, hey, we're doing pen testing today and it got loose inside the system and now something bad's happening. I don't know.
So I think there is, but I think you're asking IT people to take a little bit of a leap in their personality and be more, what do you want to call it, dramatic, or add commentary to what they do. How many engineers do you do to shut up the whole time they're doing something and then they go, and look what I've done, right? There's no commentary in getting there. So you're asking engineers to add commentary with everything that they're doing. So
well, we could be sportscasters. We could commentary. Here's what's happening. It's going to be our new.
You need to have a class on how to do proper commentary as you're going along on and making what you're doing exciting, right?
Yeah.
So I do think there is something there. I think
I can't believe he's going to use that Ansible playbook. He's pulling that one out. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, he's editing the YAML. Whoa. Oh my, when he executes this one. Wow.
I mean, sound effects. I don't know. Or somebody like Darcy who could add animation around it or something to make it interesting.
That's so interesting. I mean, it would be very fascinating if that happened. It could happen, but I think Matt's point gets to the core of a big part of social media now is personalities. People follow people for their personalities more so than just like the baseline information of their content. If someone doesn't have an interesting personality, no one wants to follow them, so you got to get those IT people involved in talking, because otherwise it's just not that interesting.
But I think there's something there, though. I think we have to go poke on that a little bit and see if there is something we can do there. I think it'd be exciting, at least to try. Right?
Indeed. Or maybe we'll do it in the metaverse or something. Might be a lot safer to do all of it there. Well, this has been an amazing episode. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully our personalities were set to high or stun or something. I don't know. They were set to something. Paranormal? No. But thanks for joining us on this episode of Cloud Chat with Stefan and Matt.
Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you, special guest
Thanks
Darcy.
for having
It's wonderful
me.
to have you. Thanks, everyone. If you like this episode, if you have comments, please subscribe, hit the
tell us,
barn, do all of the things.
Darcy, tell them to tell us. They're not listening to us. Darcy, tell them.
Yes, do all the social media things you're supposed to do. Hit subscribe. That's a big one.
Solid.
Excellent.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
On the next one.